Hello everyone, my name is Elle and welcome to my channel. Today I have an update for my project 100 pan. I have a lot of stuff still in this project and a lot of stuff to talk about. This 100 pan started as a collab with Mary from Reviewer's Diary, so please go and check out her channel and her updates for her project 100 pan as well as all the other fun stuff she has going on. So let's just dive into it. Just like with my last update, it was an update and a declutter. I have some more things that I've finished this time around, still some things that I am choosing to declutter, and some things that I am still trying my hardest to work on. This is also going to be the last update for this project, and then in a couple of months' time I will do the finale. So anyway, let's dive in here. I have two eye primers from LA Girl. These are the Pro Primer HD High Definition Eyeshadow Primers. I have one in white and one in black. The one in white I have used the most. It works especially well with light shadows that don't necessarily pop on my skin tone. I wore the white one today because I wanted to wear a pale pink shade on my lid and I wanted more of a pop. I do find that the white base works very well at making like pale or bright colors appear better on the lid. The black one I have not used that much. Black bases are fantastic for duochrome shadows because they will show up better. I just like to use an eyeliner better because I feel like I can get more precision because this is like a jumbo crayon and I don't have a lot of lid space. So I like to use just an eyeliner with a fine sharpened point so that I can just get, you know, the whole lid or just certain part of the lid to make duochromes show up better. But seriously, if you have not tried using a black base on any of your duochrome shadows or shadows that swatch really well but don't translate very well from swatch to lid, give a black base a chance because you might end up really liking it. Just remember to set the black with a matte black eyeshadow before you go in with a Think product on top of it. Next category, brow products. So I still have these two, Benefit Gimme Brow and the Anastasia brow pencil in dark brown. I don't really like this brow pencil much at all. I find it's too thick and it makes my brows look messier than normal, and I feel like the color is a little bit too warm for me. I need something a little bit cooler. So I'm just trying to use it up. I definitely used it a lot more because I don't have other brow products in other projects, so I've just been trying to use this as much as I can on the daily. I feel like I'm very, very close to being unable to sharpen this, so at that point I will definitely be calling it quits. And the Gimme Brow I feel like is better for people who already have decent brows. If you have crappy brows, Gimme Brow isn't going to do a whole lot for you unless you really are just going for like that whole no makeup look where you have all these gaps still in your brows, because definitely if I use this on its own, I still have Gap City on my brows and it's not pretty. But for a quick no makeup look, it definitely does the trick. I like pairing it with other things, like the brow pencil. These two together, it works okay. That's what I have in my brows today. I don't really like it that much though, to be honest. But if you guys have any other recommendations for something besides Gimme Brow, something that is tinted, let me know because I feel like I would be up for trying something else once this one is done. So I have one concealer remaining. This is from Urban Decay. This is the Naked Skin Weightless Complete Coverage Concealer in light neutral. This is too dark for me. I mix it with a white concealer, the one from Kat Von D. I actually do not have a liquid concealer for like underneath my eye area anymore, at least one that's a correct match for me. I have to mix things together. Kind of weird. I'm glad I have resisted the urge to buy right now so I can use what I have. Things that are the wrong shade, too dark or too yellow. In this case, this is too dark. I have used Fair Neutral before. I purchased 2 tubes of that, and actually Fair Neutral was in this project earlier before I finished it, and it's a very nice concealer. It's very creamy, it's very full coverage, but it's light at the same time and it blends really easily, and I don't find that it creases or anything like that. And even with mixing it with the white concealer, I don't notice any creasing. You know, you don't always need to layer stuff on, but when you're a project panner, you start to like used so many different products. So that's what I'm still working on. I did finish this guy from Elle. This is a dual product. One side is a concealer and one side is a highlighter. This is in Fair/Glow. I mixed them together to like highlight my under eye area because, you know, the white concealer and something that's a little bit too yellow toned, as I mentioned before with the Urban Decay. There was not a whole lot left in this after my last update, so it did not take a whole lot of time to finish it. I did feel like I had to use a lot of it though because it wasn't very full coverage, and definitely the white shimmery highlight shade decreased pigmentation a lot from the concealer. It was light enough and luminous enough to use underneath my eye area, and I could set it and there would be no creasiness or cakiness. So it was definitely a very nice product and a very affordable option for like a luminous under eye brightener. I am choosing to declutter this Elle concealer. This is in the shade Ivory. This is too dark and too warm for me. I like the consistency of a lot. It's pretty thick and I like thicker concealers. So I liked the product itself. I just didn't like the color because I couldn't really make it work for me. I used it occasionally to like carve out my brows when I was trying to do something with them, but I couldn't use it to spot conceal, and basically that's the only place I've been using concealer a lot recently, is just certain like spots on my face to conceal, and this just wasn't appropriate for that. Okay, another thing I am decluttering. This is the Becca Jaclyn Hill palette. I finished Champagne Pop and I finished Pearl. Blushed Copper, it does not work for me. It's too dark to be a highlight shade. I tried using it as a blush topper, but I found like it just did not work together. I tried using it like very, very lightly, but I just couldn't really get like a desired effect from it. I've used other things as like blush toppers and I found that they worked for that reason. Blush topper is such an unnecessary step though, for real. I tried using this as an eyeshadow, but I just could not get the pigmentation. It is meant to be a face highlight, so it's intended to be able to be blended out. It's not supposed to be like a huge stripe, supposed to be. And I just could not get that color because it looks beautiful, and even when you swatch it, like it looks like it would be an absolutely gorgeous, you know, eyeshadow color, but you just don't get that pigmentation on the lid. It just does not turn out that way. I like the packaging of this a lot though. It's very sturdy. The mirror is fantastic. That's one thing, like I almost don't want to get rid of it because I love the mirror so much. And I'm a big Jaclyn Hill fan. I'm gonna say that. Maybe I'll just get rid of Blush Copper. Maybe I can like repress something into here. That's an idea. Maybe I'll do that because I love the packaging so much. But anyway, this is done. I'm not going to be using Blush Copper anymore. So I have a couple of face powders. This little guy from Bare Minerals. This is the eye brightener in Well Rested. I finished this up just trying to use it to brighten my under eye area. So just the littlest bit of this mixed usually with my like translucent loose powder or whatever else I'm using to set. Just a little bit of it just to brighten. This went pretty quickly. I also have this mini guy from Bare Minerals. This is not finished, but I've been using it more. This is the All Over Face Color in Clear Radiance. This is such a pretty shimmery shade for all over the face, and sometimes I will use it on top. I've been layering so many products together. This is why I can't do so many project pans, because sometimes I will just have a face full of everything. I will set my face with a translucent powder, but then sometimes I will dust a little bit of this on top of it because it's this very pale pink shade that has that little bit of glow to it. I did wear it today all over my face just to add extra glowiness because that's what I was feeling. Sometimes it can be a little too much, and sometimes I just layer it on top of my many layers of blush. I told you, too many things going on. It'll be nice once I've weeded through so much of my collection that I don't feel the need to use so many products at one time. I have the e.l.f. Tone Correcting Powder. I have more progress on this because I've been trying to use this more often to help with some of the foundations that are too dark. If I don't get the right mix with the white foundation mixer, sometimes I will try and bring a little bit more coolness with the tone correcting powder in Cool. I find that it helps a little bit. It's a little powdery and it can sometimes give total cake face if I use too much of it. I have to be careful with using too many powders because my skin has been really dry recently, and sometimes it's like super dry, and I feel like every bit of like texture and things get emphasized on my face because I'm piling too many products on there. But I try and use this as much as I can. The NARS Contour Blush in Olympia, I really have not used a whole lot. I still have that pan on the highlight shade, but the blush itself, or the contour shade, I don't like it as a contour. I find that it's just not the appropriate shade. But I will use it as a blush, or as I mentioned before, I use it as like a mix in between contour and blush so that I have the shade in between. It's so extra, but it does work. The consistency of this powder is so smooth and such a dream to work with. Like, it blends so easily. You really start to notice the difference when you're using like cheaper products. Not to be that kind of person, but you do notice a difference, especially with someone like me who's doing these project pans and I'm going through using some stuff that's like fairly cheap or stuff that's just not as high quality. There's a difference there. You can tell some stuff just was not manufactured quite right, and there's a difference. This is like high quality. It makes me wish I had more NARS powders because they're so easy to blend. And then there is the Shade and Light Contour Kit from Kat Von D. This is really well worn. I can't even read the shade names anymore off the back of the palette. I have a little bit more pan on the contour shade, and I have finished this light highlight shade. This I was mostly using to like carve things out. There wasn't a whole lot left as of my last update, and it was pretty easy to just use it that way to try and like blend things together. Again, as I said, a lot of unnecessary steps, but I'm trying to finish stuff. I generally will only use this shade. Sometimes I mix the lightest and darkest together if I want something like super dramatic. I don't really use this shade at all because I find that this is too warm. This shade I will use a bit under my eye. Sometimes I have not used it much recently because I was using the Well Rested from Bare Minerals, and then the shade is kind of useless to me because it's too dark. Probably could use it as some sort of eyeshadow, don't really have the need to. So I think I'm going to keep going till I finish this shade and that shade, and then, you know, maybe hit pan on the dark shade. I don't know, it's going to depend on how much I use those two together. Otherwise, the rest of that's kind of useless to me, and I'm not gonna really repurpose stuff that I don't need to. So I still have a ton of eyeliners. I have finished two. The Cynthia Rowley eyeliner, this black creamy eyeliner. This is one that I would use as an eye base when I was doing those dramatic looks with like a Prep+Prime shadow, like I mentioned before when I was talking about the Prime thing. I just liked this better. This was really easy to go through because it was so creamy that I would literally swipe a little bit on my eye, have to resharpen it. Swipe a little bit more, blend, do the eye, you know, sharpen, do part, sharpen, like, etc. It just was so, I had to sharpen it so much, and now I can't sharpen it anymore without hurting my fingers. So it's done. Didn't really like it, honestly. I just was using it up. I had tried a few times using it just traditionally, like I used black eyeliners recently, which has just been tight lining, and it's smudged all over the place. So definitely would not recommend that eyeliner. It worked for the eye base purpose, but really any matte black eyeliner will work. And this one from NARS, the Larger Than Life Along Wear Eyeliner in Via Veneto, I finished. No one told me this is one that you're supposed to wind up. No one told me this. I had been sharpening it until I got to the plastic, and I was like, there's no product left in here, what's going on? And then I was like, this feels a little bit loose. It's because it's when you wind up, and there's actually a sharpener in here. Even this is a mini guy. No one told me this. I feel like such an idiot. When I hit that point when I was sharpening it, I was like, I feel so dumb right now. How did I not know? But anyway, I liked that eyeliner. It was fairly smooth and it didn't budge on my waterline. Alright, so the rest of the eyeliners I will go through and show pretty quickly. I don't mark things on paper, as I mentioned before. Some people do that and it works really well for them. And I know visually it can be really satisfying to see the visual progress, you know, where a person was at update 1 and where they are at update 2. For me though, I don't find that it motivates me, and it's more frustrating than anything else to try and like line things up and measure things. And if I was just taking pictures of stuff, I'd probably do it, but for video updates, I feel like I can see enough of my progress, and if I want to be reminded of where I was at a previous time, I can just go watch my previous updates. So that's why I don't do that, and I just sort of talk about stuff. So $19.99 from Urban Decay, absolutely love this eyeliner, especially with shades from the Burgundy x9 palette, because it's such a flattering complementary burgundy shade. And speaking of, I've actually been enjoying using the Chanel eyeliner in Cassis more for that exact same reason, and the MAC eyeliner in Bordeaux line. These are all sort of in the same general color family that are very complementary to the Burgundy x9 palette. So a black eyeliner, one of these guys, paired with shadows from that palette, it's been fantastic. And then there is Vacancy from Urban Decay. This is very pretty. This is the eyeliner I have all around my lid today. This blue-green shade with a slight bit of shimmer but not glitter, so I can use it in my waterline without any irritation. Moon Spoon from Urban Decay is one of those guys that has a lot of glitter, and this one is not one that's waterline safe, but I will try and use it a little bit on the top lash line, sort of like really, really close to the lashes. And I like gray. So gray is a great eyeliner choice sometimes when you're just sort of bored of like black. Or brown. I've been using this one a lot. This is the Pixie Endless Silky Eye Pen. This is one of those things that I was using and I was really sad about using because I was like, I'm not going to be able to repurchase this because you can't find Pixie in Canada, and now you can. This is one of my favorite brown eyeliners. This one and the Stila Smudge Stick and Damsel, which I've finished it months and months ago and I still think about it almost all the time because I loved that eyeliner. Anyway, this works really well as opposed to using a black eyeliner. It's very creamy though. Sometimes I find that it smudges a little bit in my waterline, but if you do like a smudgy brown smoky eye, it's the perfect eyeliner for that. This other silver eyeliner from CoverGirl, I've had this for a very long time. I feel like it's starting to irritate my eyes a little bit. I'm going to try it a couple more times and just sort of see what it is that's irritating my eyes. I don't know if it's just allergies right now because it's that time of the year, or I'm dealing with allergies and colds, and sometimes I think it might be some of the makeup products that are expired. So I'm going to try that one a little bit more before I decide if I'm going to keep it or keep using it or declutter it. Urban Decay's Stag, this beautiful brown eyeliner. It looks really nice when you first apply it, but I find that it does not last very long, which is so disappointing and strange because I never have that issue with Urban Decay eyeliners. But this one I will apply, it looks so dark and dramatic, and then like an hour or two later it's like completely gone. It's kind of weird. And this eyeliner from the Sephora collection, this is called Black Lace. It's a matte black eyeliner. Just really nothing special about it. So that was everything for my update. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, or concerns down below. I will do my best to get back to you as soon as I possibly can. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. It would mean so much to me. And I hope I will see you in my next video. Bye.